good day wherever you are watching this. My name is Ramon. I'm the guitarist, backing vocalist for a band called Goatamentise. Goatamentise was formed in the Bronx in 1993 by our current singer Barry of that Goat Metal show on YouTube. We are a death metal hardcore band. We kind of take a little bit of both genres, and we consider ourselves New York deathcore. So I have some questions here I'm going to answer to try to to get to know myself a little bit and the band. So here we go. What is the meaning behind the band name? Excuse me. So the band name was an accident. Barry had a friend who kept saying "Goat of Mendes," but the way he said it fast, and it sounded like a single word. So Goatamentise, Goatamentise, and so that's how the name came about. So shortly after, he found out, what the actual spelling was, and that it was Goat of Mendes, not Goatamentise. And so that's essentially how the name came about. It doesn't mean anything. It pretty much, whatever meaning we put on it. So that's basically how the name came about. It was just a happy accident that pretty much is one of those things that can't be reproduced because, it's just like, just one of those funny things. Okay, so can you, can you tell us a little bit about the Goatamentise 30th anniversary discography? So, the discography contains the Suicide demo from 1997, Severed Ties EP from 1998, and our self-titled album from 2006. Also, a live CBGB's performance from December 2005. So it's a 2-disc digipack, and it's available at Death Farm Records. Can you talk about the lyrics on this release? So content-wise, we've always kind of been pro-anti. So anti-religion, anti-politics, anti-establishment. Kind of talking about more real everyday evils as opposed to biblical references and stuff like that. So content-wise, it's really just more about reality, real evils than made up storybook type of stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about the album cover art? So the album cover art is basically a logo I came up with and a goat skull like emblem with a G on its forehead. Our former guitarist Greg from Demised put the layout together, and he did the album art on the inside. But as far as the cover goes, that was basically my art that he put like a spin onto it. So even down to the parental advisory, evil content in the lower right hand corner, I did that too like a number of years ago. But he put it together and he did the layout, but I did the initial artwork for the cover. Can you share insights into your cooperation with Death Farm Records? So that came about because Jason from Death Farm Records was looking to re-release our back catalog. So he got in contact with Martin, our old singer, who is currently singing with Billy Club Sandwich and a band called the Brass Knuckle Brigade. And so he reached out to Martin. Martin got a hold of Barry, and Barry and Jason basically put got all the details and put it together. I'm not really sure when that was, but it was probably towards the end of 2023 because I found out in November of 2023 from a from a YouTube show that I watch, MOD, Music of Destruction, and he mentioned it, and I said, I said, what, re-release? I didn't know because we had a group chat that I wasn't getting messages from, and there was a WhatsApp group chat that Barry had created, but I wasn't in because I didn't use WhatsApp, so I had no idea. They think I know everything. I didn't know anything until November of last year. But it's been great. They also have like some shirts and hoodies available on their website on deathfarmrecords.com. What do you do for your livelihood outside of music? So outside of music, I'm an artist, graphic artist, graphic designer, photographer. So stuff like that. I sell T-shirts on a website called doombxny.com. I also have profiles on Threadless and TeePublic and an Etsy shop. If you look up doombxny.com, you'll see all my socials and add me, say what's up. You know, when did you first discover your interest in metal music? All right, that's a good one. So 1990, I was in junior high school. A friend of mine had made a tape, a mixtape for me with it had Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Megadeth, Nirvana, stuff like that. And so that basically got my foot in the door as far as metal goes. Just shortly after that, I decided I want to play an instrument. So my friends were kind of the same mindset. So I got a bass. A friend of mine, he had gotten a guitar and an amp, and so we started jamming. But I liked the bass; it was cool. But I loved the sound of guitar, like the heavy distortion and the crunch of it. So I dropped the bass, picked up a guitar, and pretty much that's what I've been doing. From 1990 to 1995 was like my early formative years as far as metal goes, because I was every year like being introduced in more and more stuff. So in the beginning, it's like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and then I got into death metal, and then it was just this progression to get into hardcore, and yeah, all of that was just packed into like a short period of time. That pretty much formed my current love for the music. What obstacles have you faced as a musician, and how did you overcome them? All right, so it's really tough being in a band, especially in New York. In New York, there are so many talented bands that you could get, swept to the side easily and ignored. Uh, think about what comes from New York. Hip hop, rap was born in the Bronx. Then you have, people say, punk was born in Lower Manhattan. And then, from that comes New York hardcore, which influences, the whole world when it comes to hardcore, right? So you have all of this talent, all of this music. If you're not in a band and you know a band, or you know someone in a band, so that's probably the most difficult thing to not do, is get swept to the side or kind of ignored, or you're getting booked on really good shows too. Because now New York, it is very limited when it comes to venues. Like it was in every borough, there was at least a few venues. Manhattan had the most, obviously, but now it's not like that. Now it's pretty much like Brooklyn. There's maybe one or two places in Queens, if that. Same with Manhattan, and there's nothing in the Bronx that I'm aware of, at least. So that's probably the biggest obstacle when you're a musician, is probably just, getting your name out there and getting like a good show to expose you to people that never heard you before. Um, is there a specific non-metal genre or artist that you love excuse me? Is there a specific non-metal genre or artist that you'd love to collaborate with? So I'm pretty open musically. I'm into a little bit of everything. So I wouldn't mind, collaborating with anyone who wouldn't mind collaborating with me. So, but I think that specifically, I wouldn't mind doing something like like a like a crossover rap metal kind of album. like something kind of like the Judgment Night soundtrack, maybe with like I don't know, it would be cool, like with Eminem or 50 Cent or somebody like that. That would just be pretty. That would be pretty cool because I also make beats on on the computer too. So I could pretty much put everything together from the riffs to the drum patterns for the tracks. But yeah, that would be cool. Um, how do you perceive the evolution of metal music over the years? So I've been out of the loop for a while. Anyone who knows me knows this because I've been focused more on work and art than anything. The music itself has progressed to what it needed to become. So it's suffering from somewhat of a overclassification right now. Like there's a lot of like just unnecessary genres being spewed out there. Like I'll give you an example. Municipal Waste, when they first came out, I heard them. They were like, like basically a thrash band. They're a throwback though because not too much music is coming out like that, and it's almost it's very similar to like Agnostic Front. This is like a little punky, punk kind of attitude to it as well. But I just when they first came out, I thought of them as a thrash band, and I heard them recently referred to as pizza thrash, and I don't even know what that is because none of their music, they don't have an album, cut the cut the slice, cut the pie, whatever. You're not getting pizza when you go to their shows, so I don't understand that, and that classification or that genre. Like I mean, it's just getting to the point where it's gonna be like clown metal, bachata core. It's just like for me that's just over the top and unnecessary. But other than that, I think it's coming full circle because some of the stuff that influenced us is coming back around, and a lot of those bands are coming back around too. So that's very cool too. Um, all right, this is a rapid fire section. All right, so guitar shredding or drum blast beats. So I'll say drum blast beats because I like to I like to look at the drummer and see them look like they're getting ready to explode or something. It's funny. Most memorable concert you've attended. So that was gonna be Pantera 1994 at Nassau Coliseum. Because it's not because it was Pantera, not because it was my first big concert, but me and my best friend at the time, Malik, who was also our former singer, uh, we got stranded in the parking lot, overnight basically, and basically until the morning, when my father and uncle came to get. Yeah, it's a whole thing, but that's my most memorable concert, and not necessarily just because of the band I was seeing. 12 a.m. studio session or 6 a.m. rehearsal. 12 a.m. studio session because I'm more of a night person, and 6 a.m. is too early to be doing anything. And all right, what's your guilty pleasure song outside of metal? That's gonna be I would say one of two. It's gonna be Blinding Lights by The Weekend. It's got like a 80s feel to it, and I don't know, I like it. And There Goes My Mind, but not not the Pixies version, the piano version by Maxence Siren, I think it's how you say her name, but the piano version of There Goes My Mind, basically. And so, as far as future plans for Goatamentise, as of right now, we are planning to play a couple of shows this year. Nothing is set in stone yet, but we'll be updating everyone on our socials whenever that happens, and we are working on new music as well. So just look up Goatamentise on like Linktree or Facebook or Instagram, and we'll keep you updated. And thank you to Antichrist Magazine for letting us do this because it's cool to get help get our name out there to people who would normally never hear us. All right, so thank you and have a good one.